Hello everybody, and welcome to the Vintage Electronics Geek channel. I am that Vintage Electronics Geek guy. Today's video, I thought we'd just take a better look at some of the things that I had picked up at Hammond HiFi in Sparks, Nevada. And starting with this, we're going to look at this cabinet, at all the cool stuff that's in here. Now, I have had a chance to peruse everything that we're going to look at today. I just hadn't had time to film this section of it until now and get it out to you. It's kind of a rough, choppy start, but kind of a rough, choppy day. So we'll just go drawer by drawer, because it's been a little bit since I have looked at this, and let's see what we got. Alright, so here we got a bunch of disc capacitors, and well, capacitors that I can't get a hold of, and then that style. Can't think of it off the top of my head what that package is called, but hey, you know what it is. And then we got a whole bunch more of disc capacitors, and looks like we got some transistors, or no, that's two-legged. And this one here is marked KS 19774L2 on one side, and on the other side it is marked AVX 1037838. So definitely a capacitor in that package. 100 volt. $150 at point Z1. Now, fair notice, this video may run long. I'm not sure how far we're going to take it. My intent is to look at everything that I got in one shot. Not sure exactly how in depth we are going to look at everything. My intent is just to do a quick glaze, but we all know how that goes. This is a SN74HC14 Nancy. Not sure what that is, but that's what that is. Got some more capacitor in glass. That's a special capacitor, apparently, 20 nanofarad. Got some screws, got some resistors, and a drill bit. I know it's not a drill bit, I think it's one of those cutting tools, cutting bits, but that could be. I don't think it's for cement, but fuse, standoff. I'm going to leave the shot wide like this. That way I don't have to zoom in, zoom out. We just hope you have a big screen so you could see things very well. Now in these little pouches are transistors. And the writing on this is 22Z. And then it has a date of 8 August of 1968. That one has a couple in there. Another pouch, and then we got these big massive ones. This one here is, well, it says 12N at the top, and then at the bottom 10 of 66, and you can't see that. So 1966 on that little guy, and like I said, there's a whole bunch in there. Another 12N, that one's dated 7 of 75. So I don't know exactly what they do, but they do something exciting. That's a 12F, dated 1971. 12H, 1961. I'm not going to go through them all. And we got smaller package transistors. And that one's marked, I believe it's a Motorola, and it's a KS-1961 9L2. And that was made in 5 of 1968. We've got smaller packaged transistors. That will come in handy working on something that requires those parts. Like, say, maybe a radio. Got a stepper bit, really big, massive one. That's going to be fantastic for metal. Ranges in size from 1/2 inch all the way to 1 inch. Let me see if I can find a maker's mark on here. It says 916-1 inch HSS USA G79er. So I'm not sure who HSS is. I don't know if that's Harbor Freight. Honestly, I don't see any brazing, any markings on that. I don't think it's been used. I don't see any clamp marks on the shank. And that little fat thing is heavy. This one here is a very interesting drawer. It's marked LED display, and what's really cool about this is it's vintage LEDs. And if you've ever priced vintage LEDs, you will know that the $20 that I paid for this entire container will definitely pay for itself if I ever decided to pimp these on eBay. I mean, look at that. That is one of those for calculators, and this thing is just amazing to look at. Let me set this aside. We might actually zoom into that one and take a peek. You can see I got a couple of different types, or several of them. And then we got that style. Not sure which ones those came out of. But I know they are old school. Actually, I wonder if these are not actually, well, I was going to say fluorescent. You could actually see the wire that connects them. Unfortunately, I do not see a part number on them or a maker's mark. If you know anything about those, let me know. That way I could look for a data sheet on those and fire them up. Those look like 1970s at least. And since I'm into vintage electronics, especially test gear, well, just electronics in general, I guess, it's going to be cool to have this vintage stuff. Again, if you've never priced them, then I wonder if these are going to glow yellow or white. Let's go ahead and zoom in and take a peek and marvel at this. These are really super duper cool. Isn't that awesome? Almost looks like diamonds or something. That is really cool. I'm all up in its grill, as you could tell. Really tight shot. You can see the fine wires coming off to the side there on the green. And then all those wires congregate inside, and that's what you're seeing is inside that the cross intersection of all those wires, and all that makes up digits. And I do believe this is what you find on early calculators. I believe this is where this display comes from. And so when you punch up your numbers, this is what you're going to see. Just amazing. I think it's super cool. And as you see here, we have a mix of a jumbo fat LED, capacitors, wire, and wire sheathing. Kind of interesting. I think it's a capacitor that's pregnant. Has a orange marking across the center, an orange stripe, and that is it. Well, no, I take it back. It looks like there might be a brown stripe up at the top here. I'm really not sure. I'm going to have to bust that out on the component tester to see exactly what that is. I don't have it right handy. We got flat top style LEDs, which is cool. I don't have any of those in my stock, but I do now. An old high voltage capacitor. A104J. And we got more old school capacitors. Which will go in my collection of capacitors. I don't use disc capacitors often, so I'm sure just between this container alone I have a lifetime. But I already, in my personal, or in my stock before buying all this, I already had a whole bunch. Like most people who work on electronics, you kind of like to have stock on hand without always running and buying, and then you end up with a whole bunch. And we got meters. If you've ever bought or ever priced meters, again, you'll recognize that eBay dollars. I'm filthy rich. This one obviously came out of a stereo of some sort. This one could have as well, but since it's just a basic nondescript, you could probably use it for any project. Let me see what the it says. Electrometer Instrument Co. Pershing, Illinois. So not sure exactly what that came out of. And if they're even any good. They're wiggling as I'm moving them. Well, at least that one is. So good for projects. Cable tie downs. Tack up to your wall. Is it probably Radio Shack? Cheap guess, I don't know. I have a whole bunch from Radio Shack as well. Of course, they could have came from anywhere, but just judging it how old things are, it could be vintage. Have electrolytic capacitors. New old stock. And I think there was some used. So this one is a 150 microfarads at 25 volts. We got a 16 volt at 1000. 75 microfarads at 50 volts. And the microfarads on these are marked capital MF. They don't have the little symbol. This one here, as you see, the legs have been cut. It's LNA brand. 470 microfarads at 25 volts. I'm not going to go through all of them, just grabbed a few here and there. Definitely filter through and merge them with my other capacitor stock if I have these values. This is a Sprague, and it's 50 microfarads at 150 volts, 16 volts, 4,700 picofarads, and it's a Vent brand. This is a CDE, 150 microfarads at 35 volts. These marked electrolytic capacitors, but honestly I have no idea what they are. Oh yes, I do. They're diodes. 497 alpha. I don't know what they're for, but they are super duper tiny. That packet don't have any. I thought that one did. Oh, there we go. Here's a 473 Alpha Diode, and it's just a little tiny button. I'm not going to open these up. I did open, and they're just really tiny. I'll have to research to see if I can find any information on it. It says sort code 5010. I don't think they're from the year 1950. But wouldn't surprise me if they're early SMD components. I did pull that one out, and all that's in here is just a little tiny speck, and very easy to lose. So we'll just oogle over the one that I showed you, that one there. I believe the one that I pulled out of the packets were kind of oblong, about the size of a piece of grain of rice. Have some kind of homebrew something or another, or maybe not homebrew, but a something or another. You have a piece of capacitor right here, another capacitor here, a couple of transistors and caps and all that good stuff. So I wonder if it's amplifier. We do have power. We do have a coil, inductor. So amplifier, receive, transmit. I'm going to say with the coax it's going to be some kind of a receive amplifier, but I could be totally wrong, because it very well could be a transmitter. A big fat ICC electrolytic, 2200 microfarads at 35 volts. and assorted plugs. Some pins, screws, and knickknacks. You know, with the length of this video, I think what I'll do is, I thought I was going to be able to show everything in one video, but it's running long, so I'm just going to show one item at a time per video. Here we got assorted plugs. Got 1/4 inch, our phono, mono phono adapter, have a BNC to 75 ohm adapter, a 75 to 75 ohms, so I don't know if that some kind of DC block. Have, wow, that wire kind of stiff. 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch, I mean. .1/8 or 3.55 mil. Here's a very old stereo, and it's smaller than the 1/4 inch, so I'm not sure what size that is. Maybe some of you old timers will recognize that. PJ-0 or Z68. Adapters, 75 ohm to UHF or PL259. Some minis. Probe tip. Well, not a probe tip, but for the voltometer itself. Be cool if I could find the black one. Alright, now it'd be cool if I could find the black one with the tip. Nope. At least not in that one. Some more electrolytics. .1200 microfarads at 30 volts. It's only marked TJ, made in Mexico. 35 volt Nichicon at 1,000 microfarad. Here's an old timey. This is paper. This is a beaver cap. 50 microfarads at 50 volts. Some more electrolytics. Hundred microfarads at 250 volts. the same. Here's some papers. 50 at 50, 50 at 50, 50 at 50, 50 at 50, and then we got these. $50 at 100, and 50 at 100. So of course, before I put any of these in line, I'll definitely check them out with my Syncor LC75 capacitor meter. And we got more. I won't even pull it out. Won't bore you. We'll just look at this one. 500 microfarads at 30 volts. Wow. Definitely have come a long way. We got some kind of a contact that's got a screw head on a spring. If you recognize what that goes to, let me know. You got a screw and a couple of brass pieces, some kind of spacers of sort. And if I ever get into the TV business, I'm good to go. Have a 75 ohm to 75 ohm adapter, a bunch of 75 ohm ends. We got a chassis mount 75 ohm. So again, if analog TV ever comes back around, I am good to go. Now, this next section is really one of the main reasons I bought it. And again, eBay dollars, I'm a multi-bazillionaire. We have a crystal on crockegators. Now, some of these I've gone through and just spot checked them, and most of them are right on. If they're not right on, then they are, you know, pretty much intolerant, and intolerant. There we go. There were a few that I checked that were way out, but for the most part, they were right on. Right on. This is a 4.6Z8 megacycle crystal. And on the side here it's marked PRZ9. Not going to go through all of them, but there are some CB crystals in here. Here's a 4.Z32Z. Just a whole plethora of crystals. You got transistors. At least I think those are transistors. Nope, I was wrong. Crystal. Frequency on this guy is a 66.Z48 ZZZ megahertz. And I cannot make out the text, but I think it's Vilo. VIE 1Z or VIE LZ. On the top it's marked 108 AC. And this one here is marked on the top 99, and then I do not see a decimal place in it. So it reads 487180. So it's probably a 48 meg crystal, and on the side it's marked 40-ZZ2529-Z1 CCCN and then 77-07 or Z7. So from 1977, not sure what application that would have been in. And we have more crystals. And some kind of a tester here. We have it connected to an IC package. Resistor. And a coil of some sort. It's marked L3C19, and this crystal on here is 3579.545 kilocycles. So we got these really nice big fat packages. Here we have one that I believe is both the oscillator and crystal, and that is a 12.352 megahertz. And this is a .22 microfarads at 250 volt capacitor, so definitely not a crystal. How much would you pay for that? But wait, there's more. Act now and we'll throw this in. This one I was really jazzed about. I've been wanting one of these, but these things could run upwards of 20 bucks just for that alone. And this one here is a 66Z6.667 channel 27 is marked. Underneath the frequency, which is in kilocycles, it says INBC-62 delta. And it's a Majestic radio out of Chicago, Illinois. Been wanting one of these. Want to gut it and put in a 10 megahertz or a 10.7 crystal in there. Why? I don't know. I don't have anything that would take this package. But I thought, how cool if I did, because then I would have a nice reference crystal for something. And then we got these big fat ones here, 330 alpha. Or if you turn it where you could read it, it's 33 delta alpha. Frequency on this guy is 296.ZZZZZ. 12 Victor 64. So probably from 1964. 26.610. I'm going to say it's a CB frequency. Uh, 26.580. Again, it's going to be a more likely for CB. It's stamped the Hunt Corporation. Got a crystal standoff. A couple of them in there. This one here we actually have a grounding tie on. And that one is marked 650 kilohertz. So for the AM radio. That is cool. Not sure what its application, where it came out of. But as you see, eBay money, I'm rich. These things could go, I've seen them go as much as $10 a pop. I think on an average they go for about $5 a pop or better. Could be wrong. I'm sure certain ones will go for more than others. We got some more crystals in here. 73.Z5Z megahertz. That's more likely going to be for some kind of television application. On the top it's marked BR-16. This one here is marked 1.Z4904ZZ megahertz. And this one's got the beads on there for noise. This next drawer, something else excited about. Again, many of you have priced these. Many of you know how expensive these can get. Got a whole bunch of these capacitors, trimming caps, and they're marked T as in Tango 5Z417-1. Not sure what capacitance it is, but I believe they're all marked that, or at least the ones that I did look at. I haven't pulled them all out to check them out yet. Standoff. So we've got screws in here as well. I haven't did anything with these because I've been waiting to shoot this video. So now that we are complete, I can go through this, clean this up, and move everything to where it is I want. And then we got switches. These are just a single pole, single throw switch. And they are Switchcraft Inc. out of Chicago. So it's fantastic for vintage gear. As you see, I got 3 of them. I have a BNC to I think a BNC to a going brain dead. Anyway, to Motorola, I think. A step-down adapter for your PL259ers. Several of those. And I think that's going to be for one of those 1/4-inch adapters. We have a old school microphone and test equipment thing. And then a alligator on a stick. And a F connector to right angle F connector. So that's it. This video has went on a lot longer than I anticipated, and we'll be looking at the other stuff. We'll go ahead and do each one in their own individual videos. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking along. If you made it this far, I definitely do appreciate that. And we'll go ahead and conclude this video, and we will catch you in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.